Welcome to another episode of Product-Led Growth Ops, a term I just made up for you. My name is Richard and blah blah blah, let's get started. Product-led growth is a super popular term out there. People seem to think it's a strategy, it's a tactic, it's something you could just magically say out loud and all of a sudden your sales-led organization turns into product-led. Even if you are a SaaS company and you're selling a software product, it still doesn't mean that you are product-led. In this video series, I want to explore a scenario with you, how we would build it, what the components are, and just sort of go through every single part of it and learn as we go. So we want to put some concrete examples around the topic of PLG, PLR, PLS, all the fancy terms you hear out there. Let's imagine that we are a B2B company. We have a product. That product is software. We're relatively far along in our journey. We have a solid user base. The product is actually delivering value. You can log into the product without any salesperson ever talking to you. But at the same time, you have a sales organization. You have a marketing organization. And while you have a free product, there's also a higher ACV, MRR type of thing you sell to your potential users, the enterprisey type of stuff. So our main go-to-market motion is sales-led, and we're slowly but surely moving into a world where our product is the centerpiece of our universe. We have sales, we have marketing, and obviously the product that is in a good shape and a good amount of users. We've just allowed users to create a free account. The goal of this series is to explore how can we operationalize this data and how can we make it analytics ready. Let's roll. So let's start with the most mysterious one of all of them. What the hell is a product? A product in a SaaS world is essentially a place where users go, they do something, they get value out of it, and then they either pay you or they leave you. On a more technical level, when you think about it, a product consists of the front end, where the users live and breathe, they do things. A backend, which is essentially the machine that generates the value based on the user actions. Those are the things we don't really need to concern ourselves about right now. The more interesting thing is that every single product has a database, right? If I sign up to a product, I leave my email, I get this user ID and this account, that data lives somewhere. And this is where it gets interesting, because technically speaking, every single product is a custom database. I log in to your app, my email address gets created as a new row in your product database, specifically in some kind of schema that's probably called users. When I create my user, I'm probably going to create a workspace, my account, so to speak. So that means your product database will also have something called workspaces. Now, I understand that the term database can be really, the term database can sound kind of tricky and very technical, but the way I think about databases is quite simple. Think about a product database as kind of like a spreadsheet on steroids, right? You have a spreadsheet, you have multiple tabs, Each tab represents an item in the database, users, workspaces, billing details, etc. When you look at it as a spreadsheet, all of a sudden, there's nothing crazy about it. You've done it before. Google Spreadsheets, Microsoft Excel, Airtable. Airtable is essentially a middle ground between spreadsheets and a real database. Now, your database in production is usually chosen by your engineers, right? There are two main kinds, a relational database and a non-relational one. We're not going to talk about the non-relational ones, the NoSQL, Mongo stuff, because to be honest, I have absolutely no idea how to work with them. No relations, no game. Anyway, the relational databases are far more common and really robust, We've used them for decades already at this point. You got things like Postgres, MySQL. I don't actually know. Then you have all the fun data warehouses, but we'll get to that later. The main thing to understand here, product needs a database where it stores your records. It's an operational database, right? User 1, user 2, user 3. There are no event data there, typically. And that's okay, because event data is set up in a separate way. We'll talk about that in the next episode.